Okay, good morning everyone and welcome to this particular video. This video is a technical analysis video of the ALPH stroke USDT trading pair on Gate.io platform. Currently we can see that we have the price sitting at 0.1129, which is approximately 11 cents. Okay, currently our 24 hours all-time high was 0.1147 and our 24 hours all-time low was 0.1172. Our 24 hours volume in terms of ALPH token was 723,000 tokens. Our 24 hours turnover is $80,000, which is very impressive for a tier 1 exchange, okay, for our ALPH token. Currently, this chart is a 2 hours time frame, and in a 2 hours time frame each candle represents 2 hours. I would like to point out that this is a technical analysis video. Once again, it is not a fundamental analysis video. Fundamental analysts rely on the news, and the reason why I love technical analysis is because the news plays into the trend. Okay, regardless of how erratic the movement is, the news still plays into the trend. Okay, so currently we can see that this candle is a 2 hours time frame. 2 hours, each candle forms within 2 hours. So let's start our analysis from here. Let me blow this out. We can see that we had a doji here. A doji represents an indecision in the market. Before we had an inverted hammer here, we had a hammer here. These are all bullish confirmatory signals. Okay, and now we have I'd like to draw the resistance point that we broke that led to this rally. Okay, so this is it. So the market broke this point here at 0.1023. Okay, 0.1023. That's the resistance that was broken, and the market rallied up to this new point here, which is 0.1147. Okay, so further analysis indicates that this was when we had the break point here. After this resistance was broken, we had a confirmatory signal here. Then lots of bulls, lots of buyers bought. We had this hanging man here. Market declined, but the trend was still maintained. Trajectory was respected. Currently the 5 moving average has crossed 30 moving average, and we're heading upwards. Okay, so the next stop is this resistance point here. Now we'll have to test this resistance point again. Draw the line here and here. Oh, so sorry about that. So just one point here, the other point here. Okay, so this is where the market is heading to now. Here, like this. Okay, so 0.120. Okay, the market is going to come back, head back to test this point, and we're close to that point already. There are some traders that are basically support and resistant traders. I have a friend that is strictly a support and resistant trader. He doesn't trade anything that is not support and resistance, but one has to be versatile. We have to have enough tools in our arsenal to be able to maximize the pips the market presents. So it's actually great to be a support and resistant trader. That's nice, but if you are you trade every type of trade that presents an opportunity, you make much more profit. Okay, but let's head to the top, a higher time frame, like let's say the 8 hours time frame. In the 8 hours time frame, we can see that each candle represents 8 hours. There's much more weight on the candles this time. So we can see that we had we had a doji here, which symbolizes an indecision in the market. We have an inverted hammer here. So the market broke this resistance point here. After breaking the resistance point, it rallied upwards. Okay. Let me just draw this line here. Let me draw this here. So okay, so this resistance point was broken. I always draw this with my mouse, but I'm making use of a touch screen now. But anyway, let's just work with this. We can see how it was tested. This support, it was tested. This support became a resistance here, and it's still testing this particular point. Immediately broke this rally, it went upwards here to this 0.1129. Let me take this line up. Now we're going to have this tested again. Okay, We're going to have this resistance point tested again here. Okay, this new resistance point upwards here is what's going to be tested at 0.1203. Okay, so whenever we can break that point now, we're heading to a new all-time high. Okay, these are just advices, it's for educational purpose, still make your comparative analysis, but I'm just trying to like give analysis of what's going to happen in the market. This is the critical resistance point that will need to be tested here. So let's draw this here. Let's do this. Okay, I'll bring it down um, to this point. Okay, good. Let's work with this. So this is a 0.1327. 0.1327. Okay, so that's our lookout point. Okay, if the market can break this primary resistance here at 0.1193, if we can break this point, we're heading to this particular point. Okay, so let's head to a higher time frame. Let's head to the daily chart. Okay, we'll have the 2 days chart here. The daily chart is here. So in the daily chart, we can see what's happening here. Let's blow it out, which is quite interesting. We had an inverted hammer here, inverted hammer here, inverted hammer here for 3 consecutive days. And trust me, the market always respects these indicators. So now we had a bullish candle here. We had a confirmation and we have an upward trajectory that has been maintained, which is quite impressive because in the daily chart it's called a high probabilistic trade. Every trade has much more weight in it, to maximize and bring in profits. Okay, which is quite interesting. We have this resistance point here that has to be tested. Let's look at the this resistance point before we talk about bringing our Fibonacci retracement. Okay, so let me draw this line down. So we'll have 0.1363. Once we can break this point, let's just approximate it to 0.14. Once we can break, let me take it down. Yep, here is fine. 0.138. Nice. Once the market can head to this point and break it, we're heading to a new all-time high. Congratulations to all of us. So let's hope we break this 0.1435 point here. The market is going to critically test it because if you notice, this is a resistance point that has been respected. There's even a support point here too. So once the market can break 0.14, we're heading to a new all-time high. We'll now be eyeing 0.2. I'll be eyeing 0.3 subsequently. Okay, so let me pull out the Fibonacci retracement. Let's see what's going to happen in the market on a long-term basis. So if you're trading long, this can provide a guideline to where you put your take profit point. Okay. So using Fibonacci retracement, we can see that at 50% we have 0.2963. Okay, that's where the price is going to retrace to. So this is a point traders can take profit at 0.29. And the next point is 61.8, which I respect so much. That is 0.34. Traders can take profit here, and we have 78%. Okay, which is 0.4070, which traders can put their take profit point at. This is great. Okay, so if you're trading long, these are points you can like consider. If you're a long-term trader, if it's in a head institution or a bank using our token, our LFM token as your instrument, you can take a look at these critical points I mentioned. Okay, your stop loss is 0.0979. You can just take it to 0.0919 as your stop loss. Okay. So let's look at one more time frame, a higher time frame, then we can call it a day. Let's look at the 5 days chart. Nothing much here, just to draw out the Fibonacci retracement. Okay, let's make it a weekly chart. Okay, so we can have a higher probability. I love the way our all-time high of 3.84 always pops up when we look at this when we draw this Fibonacci retracement. It's always very encouraging because the market always goes back to the level it has tested before. Okay, so let me draw this down here. Okay, So looking at this Fibonacci retracement, we can see that at 50% we have 0 point, let me see. Okay, sorry, at 50% we are getting $2. Okay, $1.2. Okay, 50% we're having a 1.91 dollars, which is approximately $2. At 61.8% we're having $2.3. At 78.6% we're having 2.99, approximately $3. Okay, so if you're a long-term trader, these are take profit points you can set in your chart, and one can even increase the lot size. You can make it $1 per pip, $10 per pip, $5 per pip, because you are dealing with a high probabilistic trade. Whenever it hits those zones, I your take profit will be triggered and you'll be signed out of the market. Okay, so this is a good time to come in. It's imperative to note that our core team is working on a staking decentralized application where you can stake your ALPH tokens to earn passively. This is going to cause a sporadic price increment because investors will need to buy tokens to increase the more tokens you have and you stake, the more tokens you can earn. So that will cause casting the market and increase the price. And then in turn to cause an appreciation in this chart. So that's the fundamental analyst news I just gave that can impact the chart positively. Okay, so I guess this will bring an end to this particular video because I don't want to go ahead of the daily chart. You can see this beautiful resistance point that is being respected here, and we should expect more from the market at this point. Let's try it here. So that's 0.138. This is good. So once we can break the resistance point, we're heading to a new all-time high. At least not all-time high, but a new high, which will of course be tested again at this point and at 0.33. So that brings an end to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to ask any question if you have. I'll be very glad to answer your questions. Or you can head to our Telegram administrators. They'll be there around the clock to answer your question. We actually have an Ethereum trading group. So if you're into technical analysis, you can join the trading community and you meet lots of traders like yourself to share your ideas and hear from them and learn from each other. Iron sharpens iron. Okay. Then if you have other questions besides the trading, technical analysis, you can always ask about our ecosystem, about our decentralized finance, about our non-fungible tokens, about our wallet, name it. Whatever question you have, we'll have an administrator that will be glad to answer your questions. So with that, I'll bring an end to this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next one. Take care of yourself and bye. Happy trading.